Hi, in this presentation, we will discuss about pharmacovigilance, a simplified overview. Pharmacovigilance, as per WHO definition, is science and activities relating to detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects or any other drug-related problem. Pharmacovigilance etymological roots are pharmakon mean drug and vigilare mean to keep a watch. So to keep a watch on drug safety is pharmacovigilance. History of pharmacovigilance started in 1848 when a 15-year-old boy was given chloroform anesthesia and the patient died during anesthesia. After that, Lancet set up a commission which invited doctors in Britain and its colonies to report anesthesia related deaths. And these findings were then subsequently published in Lancet Journal in 1893, and the forerunner of spontaneous reporting system for suspected adverse drug reactions was established. The most pivotal event in pharmacovigilance occurred in 1961 when an Australian doctor reported a 20% increase in fetal malformation in pregnant women who has taken thalidomide during pregnancy for morning sickness, and baby born to those pregnant women were defective with malformation. And this thalidomide digester stimulated the development of spontaneous reporting and pharmacovigilance system in Europe. And in US, the Federal Food and Drug Administration was amended, requiring pre-marketing submission of both efficacy as well as safety data to US FDA. And this amendment was passed in 1962. Various examples of drug safety concerns. Trovafloxacin was withdrawn because of hepatotoxicity. Seriostatin was withdrawn because of rhabdomyolysis, and many drugs, because of various safety or adverse event reports, they led to change in the label of the product, leading to addition of certain warnings or precautions or contraindications because of various reports of adverse events. The basic model of pharmacovigilance is physician or doctor prescribes medicine to patient, patient takes the medicine, then physician observes the patient for any adverse event, and the physician record all adverse event or adverse drug reaction and makes a reports and send the report to pharmacovigilance center, and the pharmacovigilance center then make the assessment, causality assessment, whether the event was related to drug or not, make the interpretation of the report, will analyze the report, and will then finally take the action in the form of maybe their specific safety concern, then may lead to the adding some warning, precautions, or contraindication, or there are serious safety concern, then that may lead to even withdrawal of the product from the market. And this final report, analysis report, it's sent to or reported to regulatory authorities. The pharmacovigilance covers both pre-marketing as well as post-marketing phases of drug development. If you see the clinical development of medicine, it starts with the preclinical animal experiments, including studies on acute and chronic toxicity, carcinogenicity, mutagenicity, or teratogenicities. Then, after preclinical experiments, phase 1 trials is done in small number of healthy volunteers to generate preliminary safety data. Then phase 2 trials are done in few hundred patients to determine the safety and dosage recommendation. Then phase 3 trials are done in few thousand patients to determine the short-term safety and efficacy. And then after phase 3 approval application is submitted, and then after approval of the drug, then regulatory agency may require the phase 4 or post-marketing surveillance studies for determining the specific safety issues. So the pharmacovigilance covers both pre-marketing as well as post-marketing phases of drug life cycle. The pharmacovigilance process during life cycle of a drug, it starts with the collection of data related to safety or adverse reactions or adverse events about a drug. It's involves data compilation, creation of case report, quality analysis and evaluation, then processing and management of that collected data in the form of aggregate reporting, safety review, writing queries, and collaborating with physician. If there are any missing data in the report, then they write to the reporter or the physician. The next phase is analysis of that data in the form of clinical review, any signal detection, any report of new adverse event, or maybe increase in frequency of already reported event that will lead to the signal detection. And finally, based on this report, the company will make a decision, which may be in the form of either adding some warnings or precautions or contraindication in the label, or maybe withdrawing of the drug if there are serious concern with the product, and then finally communicating that analysis report on safety of drug to regulatory authorities as a regulatory compliance requirement. Now coming to adverse events. So adverse event is any untoward medical occurrence, including undesirable signs and symptoms, or disease or accident, or any lab abnormality finding during treatment with a pharmaceutical product. Adverse drug reactions, which is a response to a drug which is noxious and unintended, and which occurs at doses normally used. For approved pharmaceutical product, the adverse drug reaction is at doses normally used or tested in humans, and for unregistered pharmaceutical product, events occurring at any dose. Those will be adverse drug reaction. Now coming to difference between adverse event and adverse drug reactions. Adverse event does not imply causality or cause because of drug. Because adverse drug reaction, with the adverse drug reaction, there is a causal role of suspected drug. Means in adverse event is having a wider horizon. It includes all events after taking drug, whether they are related to drug or not related to drug. But adverse drug reactions are mainly reaction which are related to the drug. So you see in this slide, you will see adverse events with the wider horizon, which also includes the adverse drug reactions. So adverse events are not necessarily related to the drug, but adverse drug reactions are relating to the drug. They have a causality relationship. A reaction contrary to event is characterized by fact that causal relationship between drug and occurrence is suspected. Now coming to serious adverse events. Serious adverse event is any adverse event or adverse drug reaction that results in death or which is life threatening or which may require inpatient hospitalization or prolongation of existing hospitalization or which may result in persistent or significant disability or incapacity, maybe paralysis, or which is a congenital abnormality, an anomaly which leads to congenital anomaly or birth defects. So these all five types of adverse event, these will be included as serious adverse events. Any event which is resulting in death or which is life threatening or which is prolonging hospitalization or leading to hospitalization or which may be causing some incapacity like paralysis or which may be causing some birth defect, etc. These types of all events will be serious adverse events. Coming to term unexpected adverse drug reaction, which is adverse reaction nature or severity of which is not consistent with the applicable drug product information. Mean any event which is not listed in product information or product literature, that will be unexpected. So any suspected unexpected serious adverse reaction will require expedited reporting. That's why if an event or adverse drug reaction which is serious in terms of what we have described in previous slide and which is unexpected, mean totally new, not listed in product literature, so those unexpected serious adverse reaction requires expedited reporting to regulatory authorities. That's why we have defined them separately. First adverse event, then adverse drug reaction, then serious adverse drug reaction, then unexpected serious adverse drug reactions. Coming to severity and seriousness, these are different. Severity is in terms of intensity, like mild pain, moderate pain, and severe pain. But seriousness is related to outcome, patient outcome or event outcome, like event which is either which is a fatal leading to death or which is life threatening or which is causing birth defect or which is causing hospitalization or prolonging the hospitalization or which is causing some incapacity like paralysis. So these are all serious adverse reactions. So for reporting purposes to regulatory authority, seriousness, not severity, serves as a guide. So any serious adverse event is to be reported to regulatory authority for expedited reporting, not severe. Severe is different from serious. So any serious unexpected adverse drug reaction is to be reported on expedited basis to regulatory authorities. So serious unexpected adverse drug reaction, they require expedited reporting. So all adverse drug reactions that are both serious and unexpected are subject to expedited reporting. Expedited reporting is not appropriate or inappropriate for following cases. If the event is serious but expected, already reported in literature, or if serious event from clinical investigation considered not related to the study product, they are also not requiring expedited reporting. Or similarly, non-serious adverse event, any non-serious adverse event, whether expected or not expected, they are also not requiring expedited reporting. So expedited reporting is required only for serious and unexpected adverse drug reactions. Minimum criteria for reporting. Information for final description and evaluation in case report may not be available within the required time frame for reporting. Initially, when the adverse drug reaction reported, full detail may not be available. So initial report should be submitted within the prescribed time as long as following minimum criteria are met. If there is an identifiable patient and there is a suspected medicinal product because of which adverse event has happened, and there is identifiable reporting source. Some person or doctor or healthcare worker is a source for reporting if that is identifiable, and the event or outcome that can be identified as serious and unexpected. So reported event is serious as well as unexpected, and for which in clinical investigation cases there is a reasonable causal relationship with the drug. So if these criteria are met or if this basic information is available, then report should be submitted. If there is identifiable patient, identifiable product, there is identifiable reporting source, and the event is serious or unexpected, then it should be reported. The follow-up information should be actively sought and submitted as and when it is available. So initially full detail may not be available, but follow-up information may be collected, should be collected, and it should be reported as soon as it is available. Now, how to report? No matter what form or format is used, it is important that certain basic information and data elements, when available, it should be included in any expedited report, whether in tabular form or narrative presentation. So, various form which can be used is COMS Form 1, which is Council of International Organization of Medical Science form, and this form has been a widely accepted standard for expedited adverse event reporting. Second is US FDA MedWatch Online Voluntary Submission Form 3500. Also, there is a Schedule Y Appendix 11 Safety Reporting Form in India. This can also be used. Now, serious adverse event reporting, clinical safety data management standard for expedited reporting in different countries, in different guidelines as well. Main guideline is ICS E2A, which requires that any serious unexpected adverse drug reaction, if it is fatal and life threatening, then it should be reported as soon as possible within 7 days to regulatory authorities, and a follow-up report, detailed report, should be submitted in next 8 days. And any other important observation other than the serious unexpected adverse event which is not fatal or life threatening, then it should be reported as soon as possible within 15 days. In case of US, the regulations are 21 CFR 312.32, which requires any serious and unexpected adverse drug reaction reporting to regulatory authorities as per the ICH guideline, as given above. If it is fatal and life threatening, then within 7 days, and if it is not fatal life threatening, then within next 15, then within 15 days. In EU also, reporting is as per ICS guidelines. India, any unexpected serious adverse event should be reported within 14 calendar days. And for if it is the report is for post after marketing or post marketing, then it should be reported within 15 calendar days. In Japan also the reporting is as per ICS guidelines. Australia also reporting as per ICS guidelines. China should be the serious unexpected ADR should be reported within 24 hours to regulatory authority, which is National Medical Products Administration. In South Africa also reporting is as per ICS guidelines. So in India, if it is the adverse event are during clinical trial, then investigator is need to report the serious adverse event within 24 to sponsor, within 7 days to ethics committee or institutional review board, and within 14 days to regulatory agency, that is DCGI. If you see this slides on pharmacovigilance process map, how pharmacovigilance works in a company or in a pharmaceutical company. It starts with adverse event or serious adverse event report, either from clinic or doctor, or spontaneous reports from literature or other sources. It may be received through email or through fax or through courier. So the report goes to the reporting station, which works in pharmaceutical company 24/7, and it is a regulatory requirement that every company should have a pharmacovigilance department. So this reporting station works 24 by 7. Then sender identification and verification is done by this reporting station. Then initial entry and assignment of unique identity number is done, and then report is checked for duplication. If there is a duplication, both reports are merged. Then confirm the receipt of the report to sender. Then check for accuracy and completeness of report, that if all detail lab reports etc and follow-up visits details are available, and if there is any query regarding incompleteness of the detail, then this query can be sent to the reporter through the reporting station. When all details have come, then quality assurance and quality control of the report is done, and then entry of minimum essential details about adverse event or serious adverse event is done in database, and assignment of priority for early signal detection is done. Then then query is sent to medra or online medical dictionary system. Means the detail of adverse event is entered in this query system, medra or dictionary query system, and this system then online automatically assign a term for that adverse event. Then confirmation of adverse event terminology is done, and then check by medical expert and product specialist for serious unexpected severe serious adverse reaction, and then check for expectedness of the serious adverse event with the protocol is done, and then in next step the validity of report is checked. If the report is not valid, then read the report and maintain the trail. If the report is valid, then scientific and medical assessment of the report is done in consultation with the sender. And then next step, the medical expert and manager review for the severity grading and causality assessment and expectedness. So all these reviews are done by medical expert in the company. And then enter the complete detail of adverse event or serious adverse event report in database. After all these confirmation from the medical expert, the complete detail of that adverse event is done in the database. Then this is reviewed by product specialist, and after review, QA review is done, quality assurance review is done, and then after this quality assurance review, the locking of data is done in the database, and after locking of data in database, the detailed report is generated from the database, and this detailed report is submitted to regulatory authorities. So this report generated by database, it may be periodic safety update report, it may be SUSAR, which is suspected unexpected serious adverse event report, or it may be in the form of EU RMP or EU risk management plan if it is for submission to EU or Europe, or it may be simple SAE, serious adverse event or adverse event report, or it may be signal detection reports. All these reports can be generated from the database after feeding all the details about adverse events. So in this slide, you will see the step 1 to 7 are handled by data entry operator. Step 8, 9, 11, 13, 21, 22, and 23 are handled by drug safety associate. And step 10, 22, 24, and 25 are handled by quality assurance team. And step 14 to 19 are handled by medical expert or medical manager. Now coming to various regulations and guidelines on pharmacovigilance. There are various ICS guidelines, ICS E2A guidelines on expedited clinical safety reporting definitions and standards for expedited reporting, E2B guideline on data element for transmission of individual case safety reports, E2C and addendum on periodic safety update reports, E to D on post-marketing expedited reporting standard, E to E on pharmacovigilance planning. EU regulations, various EU regulation and directives which are on obligation of marketing authorization holder and competent authority to set up a system of pharmacovigilance in order to collect, collate, evaluate information about suspected adverse reactions. And all relevant information should be shared between competent authority or regulatory authority and marketing authorization holder. US regulations are in the form of 21 CFR, Part 314.8 for marketed drugs, 314.98 for generic drugs, 600.8 therapeutic biological products, and there are US FDA guidelines for industry for pre and post marketing risk assessments. In India, regulations are in the form of Schedule Y and National Pharmacovigilance Program. That's all in this presentation. Thank you very much.